Hi, Kerolin. How are you?
Hi, Siddharth. I'm doing well, thanks, and thank you for having me on your show.
You're most welcome. All right. My opening question to you is, how did your journey to singing and architecture begin?
Well, my musical journey started at a very young age. I know from as a little kid, I was always intrigued by the Indian culture and especially music. And surprisingly, I started off playing the Indian drums at the
Okay.
age of 5 or 6. And that slowly kind of moved towards music or vocals when my parents also discovered I had a voice.
Mhm.
And so yeah, they took me to a teacher. We called him a music guru here in Durban. And I still continue to have that relationship with my guru, and I still have classes. But I had this opportunity to go to India to study, and I've always loved art and engineering, or art and science, and I thought architecture was a perfect industry or career to choose. So I studied architecture in India, and in the 2 years of my 5 years that I was in India, after after university, I'd go for professional Carnatic training at a school which was directed by the legendary Dr. L. Subramaniam and Kavita Krishnamurti.
Wow.
And yeah, so I spent some time there. But my guru, Magendran Balakistan, who's from Durban, has now moved to Australia, and I still have that amazing relationship with him. He's a spiritual mentor, constantly guiding me. And yeah, my musical journey now has just expanded. And I think it's through through my interactions with people and discovering, I think, the best parts of myself that I've been able to do the work that I do.
Who are the people that you look up to in the singing and architecture space?
You know, I didn't mention this, but my parents were an integral part of my journey. So I look up to them because they believed in me. And I always say that when kids are growing up and they want to, uh, kids don't always know what they want. It's
Mm.
parents that also influence them. And my parents were there. So I look up to them and I also value them tremendously. But I look up to my guru, my music guru, my gurus in India, and I always think about what would they do, when you're performing and being a performer. Being a performer in the classical Indian arts requires a lot of responsibility. You have to make sure that you are able to connect with your audience, but you have to connect with your audience only when you have connected with yourself. So my gurus are my inspiration. In architecture, there's an amazing architect that he's late now, but he's Balakrishna Doshi. He's from India. He's I love his style. He takes into consideration humanity. I think nowadays a lot of architects um, are building for profit and not purpose. So I think that's an important part. And Balakrishna Doshi is definitely an inspiration. And Hariharan. Hariharan
Mm.
is a musician,
Yeah.
and he's always been my inspiration. I've had the great privilege of also meeting him, so that was special for me. Yeah.
All right.
Also, so that another thing is I'm inspired by people who believe in a progressive movement,
Mm.
of inclusivity and things. So these are the people that I look up to.
All right. I have a question for you in the comments here. This is from Jitin Rishika. Dear Creolin, You are much admired. How do you balance your career being an architect and contributing to music?
Look, I'm asked this question so often, and I'm very happy that somebody asked it. But I don't find them separate from each other because the music is what inspires me to create and to do things in all spheres of life. So, I mean, I was asked a week ago
Oh,
if you had the choice, what would you choose? Would you choose music or would you choose architecture? And I said, please don't give me the choice because I can't survive without music and I can't survive without architecture. And life is about the balance. So for me, whenever I'm designing, I'm listening to music. Whenever I'm singing, I'm or performing, I'm thinking about art and architecture. So one of my research, the research that I did when I studied, was creating performance spaces for artists from diverse communities coming together to learn about each other, and that is architecture. You have to create spaces,
mhm.
and music is performed there. So they kind of they interlink very well.
What have been your highlights thus far?
My highlights for the year and my journey, I think some of them were my performances at the BRIC Summit. And I had from the BRIC Summit, we had BBC News who featured me and my co-singer Zawadi Yamungu for the work that we did. So during the time when uh, we were going through the unrest in KwaZulu Natal, Zawadi and myself were actually performing music of peace and harmony to remind communities that we coexist beautifully, and to remind people that music and is what connects people. So they featured us for creating that harmony between communities. The next highlight was performing this year at the Mahakumbha Mela, which is one of the biggest religious gatherings
Mhm.
probably in the world. And here we performed with 11 countries, and I
Wow.
was blessed enough to perform Indo-African music, something that's very close to my heart in India. And then a few months ago, I was nominated for a National Arts and Culture Award. There were three chosen in the country, and I was one of them. And just being, I think, appreciated and acknowledged by your country for your contributions, I think is just an amazing experience, and I'm very grateful. Yeah. So those are some
Any
of the
lo
highlights.
Okay. What about the lowlights?
I think lowlights, it happens to any artist,
Mm,
any creative, is the moments of self-doubt. As an artist, I don't think many people understand that if you're an artist, especially in this country, and you're putting together performances or putting together any initiative, you handle everything. You literally
mm,
handle the coordination, the bringing together of artists, creating opportunities not only for yourself but for other people. And like what I do quite a few concerts. I have to think about everything. I mean, I'm thinking about the person coming to the concert and also arranging everything. So sometimes the self doubt is, will it work? Am I doing the right thing? Um, is it going to have the impact that I, I feel that it would? So I do have those low moments, but I'm
mhm.
constantly reminded that I serve a higher purpose. It's not about me. It's about the industry. It's about the art, and we've got a greater purpose. So that's my low lights at some points.
Yeah. What are your plans for the rest of this year and beyond?
Okay. So, in the next couple of weeks, we have our third concert for the year, which is entitled One World, One Sound.
Wow.
I was inspired to do this concert. I was reflecting on all the trials and tribulations that the country, the world has been going through when it comes to wars and it comes to people, just uh, forgetting that we are human beings and that we have and will always be connected through our diversity. And this concert is it is a mix of Indian, African, Western music, but music that is aligned to peace and harmony. And I have performing at this concert on the 9th of November at the Milkwood Theatre. Uh, a good friend of mine, Tulile Zama, Nina Watson, who's an amazing cellist, and we're going to work with Afro jazz, plus a little bit of Western classical music, and of course, Indian classical music. So I hope everyone in Durban gets an opportunity to come through and just indulge in what we have to share with the audiences.
Wow. What are your
Yeah.
words of inspiration for people interested in the fields that you are in?
Believe in yourself. Know that your ideas and thoughts are important. Each and every human being is a significant, is very significant and has an important role to play in the unfolding of a greater progressive society. So believe in yourself, and share what you have to have with the world. Because if you don't share it, nobody else is going to do it. So yeah, that's that's me.
All right. All I'm gonna say thanks so much for your time, and whenever there is something you want to bring, do let me know. We can do teaser type of chat.
Thank you so much, Siddharth, for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you well in all your endeavors, especially with this platform. And to all your listeners and people watching, uh, life is beautiful. Enjoy it and live it to the fullest. Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.